Hey guys, it's Franky. Welcome to the Think Tank. So I want to talk a little bit more about Bryan Kohberger. There's a lot kind of floating around there as to when he may have met the girls, or even one or two of the girls. They're looking back as far as a year. So let's do this. So this one here is the Daily Mail. And they're saying that court documents have revealed that police are probing to see if there was any contact between Bryan Kohberger and his 3 female victims over a year before the slayings. Authorities have submitted several Google warrants, search warrants, to social media companies, including Tic Toc and Google, which date back to January of 2021. So that is more than a year before these attacks happened. So we know that he is accused of unaliving Maddie Mogan, Kaylee Goncalves, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. And this happened in Moscow, Idaho, at their 1122 King Road home. So the Facebook and Twitter search warrants have all start date for the search of June 2022. So that is 5 months before this happened. And authorities have been looking over a longer period to see if he ever contacted with Maddie, Kaylee, or Xana over Tic Toc in the 22 months prior to these unaliving. So that's damn near 2 years before these attacks happened. They're saying that he is always steely-eyed. He is about 200 pounds, and that he's quite menacing looking. So the search warrant requested messages, records, files, and logs for their accounts, as well as those which have been deleted. So they are asking them to go pretty far back, aren't they? So police were also looking at the images linked to the accounts, the location data, including geotags, all of the people that they have followed, unfollowed, and blocked. Authorities have made a bid for the findings to remain sealed until a future court date. But former FBI agent Jennifer Coffendorfer has questioned if Kohberger could have come across his alleged victims at an earlier date. She said that the cops were trying to look for a nexus, meaning a series of connections between Kohberger and the 3 female victims. Posting the documents on Twitter, she said, "Interesting how far the SWs went back in time. Why the 1st of 2021? Did Bryan Kohberger somehow meet Kaylee or Maddie on a possible school visit earlier on?" So what made Bryan choose WSU? Did it have anything to do with the victims sooner than we thought? She has always got the best information, the best outlook, and bird's eye view. So this here is the search warrant. Remember, we went through that a couple videos ago. If you haven't seen it, check it out. There's 82 pages that they dumped. So again, Lawrence Mowry having given me proof upon oath this day showing probable cause, establishing grounds for issuing a search warrant. And there is probable cause to believe that the property referred to and sought in or upon said premises consists of information related to the investigation of the crime of homicide on the Tic Toc accounts of Madison Maddie Mogan with the following identifiers. So the email address, the phone number, same thing goes for Kaylee. They want the same thing. And they are also asking for the same information as far as Zena Kernodle goes. And this here is all the information that they are asking for, that they are looking for with those warrants. Again, we did do that video going through this step by step. What a scary thought that he may have been looking at these young ladies up to a year, and where they got 22 months possibly before this happened. And we know that he made that cross-country trip with his dad. He was literally living 8 miles from, or he worked, I guess, a little over 8 miles from where this happened. Jennifer Coffendorfer implied that Kohberger could have met one of the girls at an earlier school visit and questioned if that could have been the reason for him to attend WSU. He had to have had a reason to do this clear across the country from where he lived. Most people, unless there's like an extremely hard entrance exam or anything along those lines, I could see. But I'm not so sure why he ended up where he did. So we also know that this has impacted his family. 2 of his sisters, Melissa and Amanda, have been let go of their jobs because of being related to him. So the family did say in January that they were going to stand by him and that they love and support him. So this here is Coffendorfer, Jennifer Coffendorfer. She's on Twitter a lot. If you are on that app, check her out. And again, this is what we just basically looked at, but highlighted. That's his sisters. This here is BTK's daughter. And she is now a, oh my goodness, she's an instructor at one of the schools that Kohberger went to school at. Regardless if you're in for some offense like that or some DRUG offense, we're all on the same plane in terms of our need for grace and forgiveness from God. That coming from, I do believe, the pastor that has been working with him. And pastor and his wife. So it does say it's unclear if the prosecutors in this case will be advocating for the death penalty or not. Kaylee Goncalves. House is now boarded up and getting ready to be demolished. I haven't heard of a date yet. Bryan Kohberger, allegedly not as big, or sorry, bigger than we would have assumed. Maddie Mogan, beautiful. This is them going through Bryan Kohberger's house or apartment. The documents say that the criminal justice graduate stalked the property at least 12 times. His phone was taken by officers shortly after a SWAT team swooped in on his family home in Pennsylvania. So I don't know, guys. I think there's a really good possibility that Kohberger had been watching these girls for a lot longer than we may have thought. Kohberger allegedly spammed one of the victims with Instagram. So I'm not sure what this is going to say. I took a quick look at it, but I'm still wondering. It's come out that the one that he had been stalking had been Maddie Mogan. I have not seen that in any documents that have come out, but I do believe it's a possibility. Bryan Kohberger, the criminology PhD student accused of ambushing a group of University of Idaho undergrads in November, allegedly sent one of the 4 victims a series of private messages on Instagram. He slid into one of the girls' DMs several times, but she didn't respond, an unnamed investigator told People magazine. Basically, it was just him saying, "Hey, how are you?" But he did it again and again. The FBI, which assisted Moscow, Idaho, police in trailing Kohberger from his apartment in Pullman, Washington, to his parents' home clear across the country in Pennsylvania's Pocono Mountains, did not immediately respond to requests for a comment. So again, these new allegations come as details around the case are subjected to a gag order. Reportedly sent the first message in late October, then a series of follow-ups when he did not receive a response. On November 13th, 2022, police alleged that he snuck into the 6-bedroom rental house on King Road and did live the 4 students. So was he stalking these girls, one of these girls? Shannon Gray, the attorney for Gonkev's parents, said no one knew about Kohberger before the slayings. However, he left it open for the possibility. Police had previously been looking into whether Kohberger had stalked the victims prior to the slayings. You can see his size when you see him in different spots, like different photos. He's tall. I can't remember if it is 6 foot or over 6 foot. And you can see where he does tower over a lot of these people. Police allege that Kohberger, a student from neighboring Washington State University, 7 miles away, cased the victim's home at least 12 times before these deaths. Then just hours after the attack, police say that they tracked Kohberger's phone back to the crime scene. So they're saying that he did come back the following day, about 9 a.m. Kohberger faces the 4 counts, not including a felony burglary charge for entering the home with intent. And he could face the DP if he's convicted. Was he stalking them longer than we know? We also know that there was the 2 girls that were not attacked. And we know that one of them heard an awful lot and was able to describe the fellow as a masked man with bushy eyebrows. Just trying to see if we've got one here of, like, he does have the bushy eyebrows. Can you imagine? Oh my word. So we know that he is due back in court on June 26th. So slowly, information has been coming out, hasn't it? A little bit more and a little bit more, small trickles, but it is coming out. Let's see here. Allegedly spammed one of the victims with Instagram DMs. That's what we were just talking about. Let's see if I can make this a bit bigger for you. There we are. And can I get rid of this? I don't know. Bryan Kohberger. Okay, we know it was the PhD student. And again, they're saying that he went into the DMs, but she did not respond. We know he was picked up in the Poconos. I'm trying to see. I thought I'd seen something extra in here, but if I didn't, Shannon Gray. Any information any of the families gather regarding connections to any of the victims will be turned over to the Moscow Police Department. Police had previously been looking whether Kohberger had been stalking one of the victims prior to the slayings. We know that he's been to the house at least 12 times or in the vicinity, so they're saying. We know what the charges are. He's due back in court in June for a hearing in which his defense is expected to challenge the evidence used to obtain the warrant. So we do know that there is something going on with internal affairs looking into one of the police. I'm not too sure. It doesn't really sound like it is in regards to this case. It sounds like it's got something to do with something else totally, but it sounds like this cop was either working on this case or close to it in somehow. So they've put this out. I mean, they keep everything transparent, right? So we'll have to see what happens with that. Hopefully it does not affect the case. There's always that possibility, but let's just hope that it's something that they can discuss, figure out, deal with, and just have the guy removed. Hopefully it's that simple. And hopefully it has nothing to do with anything that is serious. I mean, or maybe it'll even be discounted. It's just being investigated, right? So it says that he had been stalking the King Road home for weeks. Again, we went through all of that paperwork a couple of days ago on a live. So it would be worth checking out as far as getting, catching up to what's basically going on right now with the case, get you up to date with all the paperwork. They had released, oh my word, what was it, 700 and some? They did a dump. And then just recently, like I said, they just did 82 pages. And a lot of it is repetitive, but I tried to slim that out of there as best I could. Now, if those aren't bushy eyebrows, I don't know. I find it very interesting with this picture here. This cop with the big gun, he looks very, very, very frightening. That's why I put this one aside. It's like, oh my God. Again, this was Bryan on one of his last appearances. I think this is the second one. Or no, maybe not, because he doesn't have those scratch marks on his face. Oh my word. I'll see if I can cut that out. If not, that is her daily appearance. So here, is he wearing, I do believe, a bulletproof vest underneath there is what it looks like to me. So it was kind of hard to get an original idea of how big this guy was. So these are the three girls. We don't know, like I say, if he was after one or more than one. Was it Maddie? Was it Kaylee? Was it Xana? So there we go, guys. That's what I have basically found on whether or not he has met or stalked any of these girls up until a year before. But with that said, I mean, there's a lot of things pointing to that. But with that said, we don't know what else they have, right? We don't know what else they have. So for now, I'm going to say thank you for spending the time with me. I am going to go do some more research. There's lots happening in a lot of different cases. So subscribe, hit that bell for notifications if you want to see what I'm working on next. And I'll absolutely see you in the next one. Okay.